We have been telling you that your vote is critical when it comes to making significant changes in government. And a major part of government is the court system. And here to give us some insight into voter suppression and how your vote truly affects the way laws are carried out in this country. Please help me welcome, give a big round of applause, first time on this show, former United States Attorney General, Mr. Eric Holder. Ladies and gentlemen. Hey, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, sir. Now, as former Attorney General under President Obama, what concerns you the most when you think about another 4 years of Trump in the White House?
Well, there's a whole range of things. But first I'd say this. This is our last day to vote, so everybody don't sit on the sidelines. Get out there and vote. And I'm concerned about the perpetuation of these voter suppression techniques that have been put in place by the Republicans. You saw what happened in Texas, where they limited the number of ballot drop boxes. I'm concerned about protecting the right to vote. I want to have a more robust effort at criminal justice reform. There's a whole range of things that, unless we make a change and get rid of Donald Trump, we're not going to make progress, and we're going to see the same kinds of negative things done to people of color.
Right. Now, you've been very outspoken about voter suppression, Eric Holder. What are your thoughts on what's happening in Texas with limited ballot drop-off locations and the efforts to dismiss over 120,000 ballots one day before the election?
Yeah, and it's just not, the president or the people at the national level perpetuating voter suppression. You've seen Republicans at the state level, just like Governor Abbott in Texas, like you said, fought to restrict early voting, cut the number of ballot drop boxes, then went into court to try to take the vote away from 127,000 people who had voted at a mobile station. They are afraid of the people who they say they want to represent. They are concerned that if too many people vote, they can't win. And that tells you everything you need to know about the two parties. Democrats say we want as many people to vote as is possible. Republicans say we want to pick who should actually have a chance to get to the polls. And for that reason alone, people need to get out and vote today and vote for Democrats, but up and down the ballot. It's not only about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. It's also about those people down ballot in state legislative races. They are extremely, extremely important. Vote down ballot, vote for Democrats there.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Attorney General Holder. Now, logic tells us that all voters, regardless of party affiliation, would be affected by the efforts that we've seen to limit mail-in voting during the pandemic. Now, what are Republicans saying about the notion of suppressing the votes of their own constituents?
Yeah, in some ways, that's a very good point, because a lot of their strategic people are actually kind of complaining quietly, saying, if you kind of somehow try to delegitimize voting by mail, you're going to hurt Republicans in states like Texas, where people 65 and above, Republicans have tended to use vote-in mails, and especially in Florida, where they have used vote by mail as a tactic to generate the vote of their people. But I think what they've made the determination, they've seen that Democrats have made the very logical decision, well, it's a pandemic. I'm not going to risk my health. I'm going to use the mails. And they've made the strategic decision, although it might suppress a part of their vote, they think it'll have a much greater suppressive effect on Democrats, because Democrats are going to be the ones who are going to more typically use vote by mail this election day.
President Trump has been packing the courts with conservative judges across the country. And now we have a 6-3 conservative majority on the Supreme Court. How do you see this impacting the minority communities?
Yeah, that's, what they did is pretty diabolical. Mitch McConnell kept open 100 seats where President Obama wanted to fill those seats. Then he had those seats available for Donald Trump to fill. And so about 200 judges appointed by Donald Trump at the lower court level, then 3 Supreme Court justices. And these are people who will serve for life. The reality is that they are conservative. They are not going to be supportive of voting rights. They are going to take a dim view of criminal justice reform. They are not going to respect women's reproductive rights. There's a whole range of things. They cater to the special interests, therefore, corporate interests as opposed to the people. And these are people these judges will be there for, an extended period of time. And so another reason, Joe Biden Kamala Harris are on the ballot, but the shape of the federal judiciary is also on the ballot. And progressives, Democrats, liberals, we need to understand that. We need to get real about, what our vote actually does. Not only elect the president, but you're also going to shape the federal judiciary that'll have an impact on our lives for the next 30, 40 years.
Wow. I just have to say, no Special K probably feeling the same way. It's just an absolute pleasure to be speaking to you on the phone. We've been following you ever since you've been with with President Obama's administration. And thank you for all that you do, ladies and gentlemen. Former United States Attorney General Eric Holder, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And let people know how to keep up with you and all of the work you continue to do.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. I'm the chairman of the National Democratic Redistricting Committee. And, we are trying to do away with partisan gerrymandering so that next year when we redistrict, we have a fair process. And so the Democrats will be treated, appropriately. But I got to tell you, this is our last day to vote. Don't sit on the sidelines in this election. If you want to respect those people who sacrificed, committed themselves, gave their lives so that we'd have the opportunity to vote. If you want to change the present and if you want to shape the future, get out there today and vote.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Former United States Attorney General Eric Holder. More Rickey Smiley Morning Show coming up.